Hello out there in HBCU land. It's always a pleasure to be with you. My name is Charles Galbreath. I am such a proud member of the HBCU Experience family. I am featured in the HBCU Kings edition, as well as I am the immediate past president of the Tennessee State University National Alumni Association. We're not talking about any of that tonight. We're here to talk about none other than Fayetteville State University. And I have one of your proud Broncos right here with me. So without further ado, I want to present to you all Titichia Mitchell Jackson. What's going on, Titichia?
What's going on? Hello, everyone.
It's
Attitude
good to be
check.
here. Yes, it's good to be here with you.
Yes.
So let's start off with congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are a part of this book, a lot of great Broncos, and you are certainly amongst the ranks with them. So I just want to hear how you feel. How are you feeling being a
I'm
part of this family?
excited. I'm excited about this project. I am honored. And it's always a good opportunity, I think, to be able to just share the experience of being a Bronco and what it means to be a proud alum of Family State University, because that's what I call it. So anytime we can showcase the legacy and all the goodness of Fayetteville State University, it brings joy.
I love that. And let's talk about Broncos. What does that mean to you? So I love that. Family State University. I love that. Uh,
Mhm.
However, when you think about Bronco, what does being a Bronco mean to you?
I think it means to be resilient,
Hmm.
to be someone and an individual that can survive and still rise to the occasion despite the circumstances and despite the environment and resources. Um, as you know, we have humble beginnings, Fayetteville State. It was initially a teacher's college and, very, very humble beginnings with limited resources. So I think that as you matriculate throughout our community at Family State University, it shows you and teaches you to be resilient despite whatever your background is, wherever you came from. We have folks that come from various parts of the country, and we all come together to learn, to grow, and to develop ourselves for the next stage of life.
Mhm. That's so good. When I think about the next stage of life, life is in stages, and so I
Mhm.
want to take you on a trip down memory lane.
Okay.
I want to talk to the young lady who decided to go to Fayetteville State University. Who were you as a senior in high school, choosing the college you go to, and what led you there, and where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from the big town of Ahoskie, North Carolina, which is in eastern North Carolina, northeastern North Carolina. And in high school, I think I would say I was a leader. I was a leader. I was someone who knew very early on what I wanted for myself. I wanted to go off and become a lawyer. So wanted to embrace the opportunity to matriculate through an undergraduate institution and then go to law school. But what was most important for me was that I could go off and create my own experience. I didn't necessarily want to go where my parents went or where many people in my community, which is a small community, attended school. I wanted to go somewhere where I felt like I could establish my own community
Mhm.
outside of where I grew up, and I found that attending Fayetteville State, I was ambitious, I was nervous, but I was excited to meet new people, excited to just experience new things, to learn, and to really stretch myself, both academically and socially.
That's cool. What would you tell that young lady about who you became? What are you proud of her? Like, if you could talk to her, what would you
Mhm.
say to her about how proud you are?
Well, the first thing I would tell her is that it's all going to work out.
Mhm.
It's all going to work out. Stay the course.
Mhm.
And to trust yourself, trust God and trust yourself, and to embrace the moment. Enjoy the moments that you have. Attending Fayetteville State University, that season of my life was probably by far one of the most special seasons, because there were so many foundational things I learned, um, that still I carry with me as a person, as a professional, as a parent, as a sister, as a leader. And I would tell my younger self, just stay the course, it's going to work out, but be present and embrace every moment.
Yeah. That's important. And there's someone there that's kind of, there's always another you with another
Yep.
name, with another set of parents.
Yep.
But it's so important to have that encouragement. So I hope that there's a young Bronco that's watching that is encouraged by that, because you
Mhm.
definitely need that. And so you talk about law, so
Mhm.
where did your love for the law come from?
Well, when I was young, I had a good friend of mine that I grew up with. Her dad was a lawyer, and in our community, you didn't see too many lawyers that looked like us.
Yeah.
And he was intentional about taking us to court with him. We sat in the back of the courtroom, and I would see him litigate, represent clients, people that we knew in our community. And then eventually he became a judge. And I remember at an early age, probably in middle school, saying, I'm going to do that one day. I want to be someone that makes a change. I want to be someone that can advocate and speak up for those who feel like they can't advocate for and defend themselves. So yeah, that influenced me at a very young age. And full circle, once I actually became an attorney, this is the same judge and that introduced me to the court so that I could get sworn in.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's
Yep.
beautiful. And so you speak of this judge who inspired you. I'm sure there's other people
Mhm.
who inspired you along your journey. Who are
Mhm.
some of those people, and what are some of the things that they taught you, or how did they move your life?
Sure. So first, I would say my mother. My mom is first generation college educated, so she always taught me and instilled in me the importance of education and how, mentally you just needed to be in a space where you could be free to explore, to learn, and to never think small. Even though you come from a small area, you don't have to play small. That she used to always just push that on me and to always just try new opportunities and try things. Don't be afraid to try new things, whether it was new programs and or educational camps that I wanted to go to. My mom was always very supportive, so she inspired me with that, and just leading, modeling the behavior that I and the life that I wanted to have for myself. And then my grandmother, of course, was also a strong inspiration and motivator with me, pushing me to continue on with my educational journey and my pursuits. Also, I would say my guidance counselors in high school were very influential in my career choices and as a young adult, just making sure that I remained informed, that I stayed on top of deadlines and applications. And they never made me feel that I was thinking too outside of the box. It
Hmm.
was always a spirit of support, and that stayed with me.
So you seem very driven, and I love this, for the driven young women who
Mhm.
are watching this.
Mm.
What would you tell them about vision? I don't know if you've ever done vision boards, or if
Mhm.
you, what would you tell them about doing vision boards? Like, what are some techniques that you've used to get you to your goals?
Yes, I've actually done a vision board before. I think that the advice I would give them, and this, it may actually represent how I look at my vision board, but I would say take up all the space.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to consume all the space that you need. Don't be afraid to, and don't hesitate to uh, walk in the purpose that you want, that you have for yourself, and own that.
Hmm.
Be true to yourself, and don't be afraid to fail. There's opportunity in failure. There's opportunity in challenges, and failure is really subjective because I always tell people I've never had a loss. I've always had a lesson,
Hmm.
right? I've always learned from every challenge that I've experienced in every phase of my life. So I would tell her to use that vision board to take up every space, every dream, every passion, every anything that makes you excited and motivates you and really gets you in a space where you can't think about anything else. Include that on the vision board. Don't be afraid to take up too much space, and never allow someone to make you feel like you're taking up too much space.
Hmm. That's good. And all you guys out there listening, that was for you too.
Yes.
I wanted
Yep.
to key in on of course our beautiful women who are out there
Yeah.
working hard to fulfill dreams, but that advice goes for every young man as well.
Yep.
So I definitely appreciate that. Representation is another word that I pull out of a lot of what you've said thus far.
Mhm,
It's so important to have representation, and so when you think about being an attorney and your beginnings being from an HBCU,
mhm.
how prepared did you feel going to law school? How prepared did you feel entering the world as a professional coming from an HBCU?
Well, being an alum of the best HBCU, Fayetteville State University, I feel overprepared.
Hmm.
Because there's so many things that Fayetteville State teaches you that aren't just academic. They teach you how to be confident. They teach you how to negotiate, how to network, how to show up in spaces, right? Because that's a big piece of it, right? Being able to show up and really have a presence about yourself. So those are things that I didn't learn just in the classroom. I learned that through interactions. I learned that through involvement and through mentorship. So I think that combined with the academic piece, the scholarship piece that I got from my professors, that really prepared me. I walked into law school knowing and believing that I could matriculate and accomplish this and achieve this goal. I
Hmm.
didn't feel like I was at a disadvantage because I chose to go to an HBCU. I actually attended an HBCU law school proudly. It was a choice that I made. And I'm proud of that. And even when I go off into spaces now, I work at a PWI, I've worked at PWIs, I never feel that I'm less than my colleagues. I always show up over prepared. My work ethic speaks for itself. And those are traits that I learned attending the HBCU, Fayetteville State University. How to work hard, how to have grit, how to grind it out, how to persevere when things are hard, and how to do hard things and not run away from them.
Hmm.
That those lessons were learned on 1200 Murkison Road.
You know, Frank Sinatra said it about New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But I
You can
feel
make
the
it anywhere.
same way about our HBCUs. Our
Yep,
HBCUs produce the best and the brightest, and
for
we
sure.
are prepared, over prepared. And so I love to hear others touch and agree about that.
Hmm.
That's
For
awesome.
sure.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your involvement. I heard that word, involvement. What are some of the activities you were involved on in campus?
Sure. So I served as a resident assistant for 3 of my 4 years. I was a part of the Illusions modeling troupe. Shout out to IMC. I also served in my English Honor Society. I was a double major English and political science. I was in both honor societies for that. I served as the class president. Um, even class president of our graduating class. And I served as vice president of our student government association. And I served as Miss Fayetteville State 0405
Wow.
proudly, proudly. And I also served as the vice president of my dynamic sorority, Delta Alpha chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I ended strong at Fayetteville State and graduated valedictorian of my class.
Wow.
Thank you.
Got clap for that.
Thank you. It was an experience.
Wow.
It was definitely an experience.
That's awesome. It shows like it all everything. You are who you say you are.
Thank you.
You showed up in this interview with all of
Thank
those,
you.
everything that you just said. I can see it in every word that you.
Oh, thank
That is
you.
awesome. That is truly
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Yeah. So let's talk about um your right now,
Mhm,
your hopes and your dreams, and
mhm,
what's going on. What's going on with you right now? If there's anything you want to share with the people about where
mhm.
you're going, anything that you're working on.
Absolutely. So currently, I'm a law professor. I've been teaching now for about 14 years, well, over 14 years now. And I work at Penn State Dickinson Law, where I'm a faculty member, and I also direct their academic success and bar support program. I'm focused in this season of my life on my scholarship and advancing my scholarship. I write in the area of legal pedagogy and curriculum mapping for the bar exam and just andragogy overall, just how we educate adults and how we learn cognitive psychology. I'm into all of that. So right now, I am looking at just advancing myself in my scholarship, but also advancing myself in my how I educate students and learning more about that in the legal space. So I'm on the route of just advancing as a professor. I do have aspirations of higher leadership roles and responsibilities in legal education, maybe even a deanship at some point
Okay.
of of some legal institution, and possibly going off to work at other higher educational institutions and other administrative roles.
That's so super dope. So what are some of the isms that you have for your students?
Hmm.
How can I be in your class with some isms that you drop on your students?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a good question. Let me think.
Okay.
Oh, what isms? Well, I am a feminist, so we're gonna make sure we embrace feminism
Okay.
and make sure that we establish equality amongst all of our colleagues and our peers.
Hmm.
I think that I am also. I have to think about that. I've never been asked that question. Hmm.
And I can imagine like there's some standards. I can only imagine that your students know not to play. They know that
They know not to play, so we don't bring the spirit of pessimistic spirits into our spaces. I do not, because I believe mindset is
Mhm.
everything. Part of my research is also based in growth mindset.
Okay.
And that's the intentional belief that you can use challenges and hardships as opportunities to grow and advance. So I think I am intentional about telling them, we're going to be very positive and optimistic in the spaces that I instruct, but also we're going to be open and flexible
Mhm.
with how we think and what we think,
Mhm.
and understand that we are a product of our environment, and what we think is heavily influenced by
Mhm.
that. So I want them to always be prepared to pivot. I do carry the mantra that, and I tell my students this all the time, that if you stay ready, you never have to get ready.
Mhm.
So that's something I lead with a lot when I'm advising and working with students.
That's good. No, I knew that there was some standards there. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we
I
got
already knew.
some.
Yeah. So those are
Yeah.
good. When I think about Fayetteville State University, I love that each time you replied with family state.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, let's talk about that family. Like, was that something that developed early on in your experience there, or is that something that after you left, you're like, you know what, this is my family?
Oh,
Like,
no.
when did that culture hit?
Early on, first semester,
Okay.
first semester, from the moment you moved in, it was just community. That's
Mm,
the one word I would describe it as, the first day I stepped foot on campus. Community, to have a group of folks who just kind of wrap their arms around you. I always tell folks, Fayetteville State or Family State is like a utopia of love, support, and encouragement. And from the folks who worked in the staff that worked in the residence halls, to the folks that worked in the student center, who worked in the cafeteria, the faculty that taught you in the classroom, everyone was aligned and on the same accord that the goal was for each student to succeed, and that was by any means necessary. The encouragement, the daily encouragement, the push, the just the motivation that you felt across campus, no matter what department you were in, no matter what you were majoring in. It was consistent. It's consistent.
like that, like that. So let me ask you about something very serious.
Mhm.
Homecoming.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about
Oh yeah.
homecoming.
No hope.
What would I experience if I came to homecoming with you? What would that be like?
It's like a family reunion.
Okay.
We call it no hope. It is literally like a family reunion. We are so excited to see each other. We see one another on social media platforms, but to be in each other's presence, it's an experience. And I can tell you, this year, 2025, we had homecoming and it rained. And
Mm.
you would think it rained heavily. And you would think that folks wouldn't come out. And it did not stop us. We got rained out, but we were together. And that's what mattered. The spirit of Bronco pride is not just something we say because it sounds good or it's cliche. It is something that we embody,
Mhm.
and we model it, we practice it, we feel it. So yeah, I think it's like a big homecoming. It's a big reunion. I would say that's what homecoming feels like. But it's the excitement and the joy that you see on each other's faces when we see each other, and you're like, we're so supportive of one another, so proud. I always say, like, when you see another Bronco win, we all win.
Mm-hmm.
We all win.
Yeah, I like that. So, king to queen. So I was Mr. Tennessee State University,
Awesome.
02, 03 back in the
Okay.
day. So
Okay.
I want to talk to Miss Fayetteville State University.
Okay.
So let's talk about your experience. A lot of times, we have those reigns and then you graduate and people still will call you Miss
Oh
Fayetteville
yeah.
State University forever.
Yeah.
But you don't really get a reunion show like the Real Housewives of Atlanta to talk about your experience. So
Yeah.
how was that being Miss Fayetteville State University?
Oh wow. Mind blowing.
Mm.
Explosive. It was it was a time. It was a really good year. I was crowned Miss Fayetteville State my sophomore year, which was not as common when I was crowned. Most of our prior queens had been juniors.
Okay.
So I was pretty young, and I really felt like during that season, like the school, my fellow peers, my administration just supported me. They were behind me 1,000%. I felt empowered, empowered to speak to incoming freshmen, empowered to speak to prospective students, to encourage them to stick with their goal and continue to pursue their goal of higher education, to continue to pursue their goal of whatever degree they were seeking, to continue to pursue their goal if they wanted to be Miss Fayetteville State one day, because that it was possible. And there were so many perceptions around, and they have these I don't know, from campus to campus, it may vary, but these ideas of who your campus queen or your campus king should be. And my goal was to break those traditional norms
Mhm.
and to just stand out and show up as who I am authentically. I didn't have to put on, but to also lead with the notion that serving as a campus queen or a campus king should be about service.
Mhm.
What can we do? How can we give back? How can we make our community better? So I was very intentional about just trying to implement service projects, being very involved and collaborating with various organizations across campus, but also being present to hear student concerns, because as Miss Fayetteville State, you serve as the ambassador for the university, and you have to be able to listen to the concerns. You may not have a whole lot of authority to resolve a lot of those concerns, but you definitely can be a voice for your peers, and that was very important to me. And being a girl from a small town in North Carolina, a Husky, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. We were featured at that time in the Ebony magazine, and my year was the first year they had Miss CIAA, or the
Okay.
second year that they had Miss CIAA. So it was a big thing, and campus queens were just evolving and increasing their presence on their yard. So it was an exciting time,
That's really
truly.
cool. That's it. How do you wear the crown today?
Oh, I feel like I carry the crown with me every day in my heart, and I keep my head up. That's one thing I used to tell myself all the time. When you wear this crown, you don't represent just you represent every student that walks this campus. So it doesn't matter if you're having a bad day. It doesn't matter if are experiencing some type of personal hardship. You have to keep your head up. And the interesting thing is this homecoming at Family State University that you just asked me about. One of my peers came to me, and she might have been a class or two behind me. And she said, one thing I remember is when I was a freshman, you told me, you walked past me and I must have had my head down. I was having a bad day, and you told me to always keep my head up. And she
Mhm.
said, I never forgot that. Like, raise your head, raise your head up no matter what's going on. Never let them see you bow your head. Just keep your head up, keep your standards up, and
Mhm.
continue to pursue your goals, and it will work out. And that's how I carry the crown today. I continue to persevere throughout any adversity. Um, I am intentional about knowing that, my success is my success, and I own that. and it will continue to be my success no matter what's happening around me.
Yeah,
Um, it will happen for me.
it's good. We are at the end.
Oh,
I've
wow.
I've enjoyed you. Like, this is a really
Oh,
good.
thanks, Charles.
Yes, you have dropped so many jewels and
Thank you.
inspiration, and I just think that your fellow Broncos, first of all, are probably very proud
Thank you. I'm
that
proud of
you
them. Thank
represent.
you.
Yeah, you represent them well. And then the current Broncos, I think you've
Yeah.
given them something to aspire to be.
Yeah.
So,
I have a niece that's attending Fayetteville State now, and it's important to me to model the behavior and the life that I want her to aspire for herself, even beyond that, right? So, and I believe a large part of why she's there is because of the pride that we show, myself and her mom.
mhm,
Mhm.
that's awesome. Is
Yeah.
there anything that you wanted to talk about? I was asking you all these questions, and anything that you were like, I really wanted to say this, or any shout outs that you have?
Absolutely. So I want to shout out the administration at Fayetteville State, Chancellor Allison, also Dr. Wynette Council. Dr. Wynette Council was a very important role model during my matriculation at Fayetteville State. And even now, we remain close just for supporting me throughout my time there. Also, Tamara Taylor, who served in student services, who was a big support. I also want to shout out the class of 2006 because I graduated with some all stars, some folks that are doing amazing things in their spaces and making change in the world. And of course, I have to shout out the Dynamic Delta Alpha chapter and my line Spring '04 and the Epsilon Zeta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. Shout out to '04.
Shout out to the bros.
Shout out to the bros.
Yeah. All right. It was been a pleasure, Titichia. I've enjoyed you.
You.
We definitely want to thank Dr. Ashley Little for this platform.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful, wonderful for us to be able to showcase and tell our stories. That's the way that we keep these HBCUs thriving and
Yes.
keep students coming to them when they know that these are the products, these stories, and these people that we're introducing. So we definitely thank Dr. Ashley Little for this
Yes.
platform. And I just know everyone watching is going to go to Amazon.com
Oh, yes.
and purchase the Fayetteville State University edition of the HBCU experience. So, again, Titichia, it's been a pleasure to have you tonight or today or whenever anyone is watching this during this day. I've enjoyed you and I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.